Hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 3 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Randie Henderson, and I am one of the Black Feminist Reading Circle members of this online group. This session runs from January 20th until June 2nd and includes 2 week-long breaks. Our democratically selected reading material is Harriet A. Washington's book, Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present. Our book group meets each Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 8 on the Google Plus Hangouts on Air platform. You may find the Global Black Feminist Reader Circle on Google Plus, YouTube, and Facebook, and always feel free to join us in reading our story together.
Welcome everyone to the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. We are here on Google Plus each Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are currently in Session 3, reading our 3rd book, Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present. And you can learn more about us at our community page on Google Plus. or our archived videos on YouTube or on our Facebook page. This session is running through June 16th, 2015, which means we are coming on down the road. And tonight, we are going to be reading Chapter 13, Infection and Inequity, Illness as a Crime. My name is Michelle Odom. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Reading Circle, along with Randie Danielle Henderson, and I'm located in Brooklyn, New York.
Hello, my name is Randie and I am watching from Atlanta. And I'm again happy to see everybody tonight.
My name is Venita Walker and I'm joining you from Connecticut. Welcome to the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle.
Hey everyone.
Hi, DL.
Georgette Moses, participating from Columbia, South Carolina. And I'm glad my power came back on. So I can join you all.
Yes, hi everyone. Hope you're feeling well. I'm calling you from Utah. Oh, I'm Kim Brandon, and I'm in New York also.
I'm Joel Jones from Charleston, South Carolina. How's everybody doing?
We good.
Good.
Summary. In Chapter 13, author Harriet A. Washington offers an overview of public health responses to two major contagions, tuberculosis and HIV/AIDS. She highlights the ways in which these responses have played out very differently for African Americans and our children than for whites, including use of containment therapy or hospital imprisonment to force victims to adhere to a particular schedule of medication, the use of Black babies and children as research subjects to discover vaccines and cures when they have been orphaned or come under control of the state, and lack of interest in drugs that appear to primarily hold promise for Blacks. She includes examples to illustrate how biased research, inequitable and inhumane policies, and dangerous abuse of powers have shaped the uncomfortably close relationship between African Americans and infectious disease. Unhealthy places and decadent times infect us by their contagion.
Deadly indifference. In 2002, HIV infection outstripped the Black death as the single deadliest pandemic in recorded history. 40.3 million people across the globe are infected with HIV, and 3 million died of AIDS in 2005. HIV now constitutes the third leading cause of death for young adult African Americans. In 2004, the CDC determined that most of the AIDS cases in the United States were diagnosed in African Americans. As this book went to press, AIDS was being diagnosed in Black Americans at 10 times the rate as in whites. It is 25 times more common in Black women than in white women, and 10 times more common in Black men than in white men. Nearly all American children infected by HIV, approximately 83%, are Black or Hispanic. There is a perception by many African Americans that because AIDS strikes the marginalized, concern, and sympathy have largely been replaced by stigmatization, moral judgment, and deadly indifference. Question A. If we think about HIV and AIDS, how it became an African American disease, how the greatest number of cases are in our communities, and how the innocent victim label is not used when speaking of our afflicted, do you believe serious research is being conducted to stop the spread of this virus? If not, what strategies can citizens take to encourage better policy responses? Question B, do you believe concern and sympathy have been largely replaced by stigmatization, moral judgment, and deadly indifference?
Would you like to answer those, Michelle?
Question B, yes. I do think we are well into stigmatization, moral judgment, and deadly indifference. I don't know if you all saw this article or commentary that I posted maybe about a week ago. It's like the sort of torso. It looks like a black woman's body, kind of naked, and with a tattoo that says HIV positive. And the article was talking about some African country where they're proposing that HIV positive people be tattooed near their genitals. And I don't know if it's true or not. And of course, one of my Afrocentric black girlfriends came on to chastise me for sharing the article. But, you know, my thing is, you know, one thing we all do have to keep in mind is that this book is almost 10 years old or 10 years old or whatever. And so the numbers have certainly changed since this book went to press. And I did not take the time to look up any current numbers. Did anybody do that?
I did hear that the highest group of people with AIDS is still African American women.
Yeah.
So it's become our disease.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, I doubt that the numbers have changed that significantly, even in the last decade, because there has not been the kind of public outcry that you saw when it was a gay men's disease, a gay white men's disease. And so without that kind of push from the community, then then it's not an issue that's going to be solved. And and people are going to turn to strategies, horrifying as it is to imagine, of tattooing. Or finding some ways to put the scarlet letter or do something. But when you really think about what should we do, what can we do, because everybody is not forthright enough, honest enough to come forward before they have sex with you and tell you, if they're positive. So since we know that's true, what is a good public policy response? I mean, it's a very difficult, I think, a very difficult question.
I know there's a new policy in New York where the message is get tested. I forget the three prongs to this approach, but it's all over the subways. It's all over everything that the goal now is to stop AIDS flat in New York. And so I've seen those around. But one of the things that I wanted to mention is that as we're talking about tuberculosis and prisons and everything, there is this stigma that whatever sex you are having in prison, when you come home, that's not something that you ever want to talk about. So then if you get back with whoever it is your mate is, there's this blindness to, you still got to get tested even though you've been incarcerated. So I just think that there's this feeling of, I'm going out with somebody who has just gotten out of prison or who has had some sort of sex while being incarcerated that could create exposure for you. And I just think that in our communities, we're not honest enough with each other to just kind of say, okay, so go get tested. Do what you gotta do. Keep it moving. Take care of yourself.
Right. And not only that, Joelle, you've been so quiet tonight, so I'm gonna pick on you for a minute. But what's this aversion to condoms that people of your kind have?
If you put it out there, go right ahead.
Well, I have to say that men don't have self-gratification with condoms or without them. They have to have another partner that agree to have sex with or without it.
Huh?
What? He said it's y'all women's fault because you didn't make them put them on.
I didn't say it was anybody's fault. I just said that it takes two to have sex, and if the woman agrees to have sex without a condom, she's just as much as at fault as the person that wants to have sex with it. I mean, so I look at, when we're talking about sexual activity and choices and whatnot, it's both sets of people. Now, here's some stats that I saw I went to the CDC, diagnosis of HIV by race and ethnicity. Of course, the lowest amount of people is the Indians. Of course, it's only 1%. There ain't nobody left, 218. But whites, 13,000. Hispanics, 10,000. This is in 2013. African Americans infected, 21,836, over twice the of the Hispanic and 10,000 more than the white population. So,
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
When they say black, they don't break it down any further in terms of sex?
No, ma'am. Well, I can see if I can find that, though. I'm going to see if it's on there. I mean, everything that if you go to the CDC, it has everything you want. You can look up, how many toads in Alaska, they'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The information is out there,
I mean, in terms of the question A, what strategies can citizens take to encourage better policy responses? I don't know. We have to make our voices heard. We have to make our voices heard, and and there are some models out there. I mean, if you really study how the gay white men shook things up
Mhm.
when this was a gay disease, that's a model. That's a model.
Estimate of new infections as of 2010, white um, men 11,200, black men 10,600, Hispanics 6,000, black heterosexual women 5,000, black heterosexual men 2,000, white heterosexual women 1,300. Those are the numbers.
So what are these numbers you're reading?
Uh,
Those are raw
those
numbers
those are raw numbers of from CDC
of people
of
infected with HIV.
that's right.
New cases.
UK.
Okay. So in raw numbers, there are more white men than black men that have it,
Hmm.
but as a percentage of the population,
That's right.
Oh yeah.
that would change.
Oh yeah.
Okay.